Dr. Zanetor Rawlings on a few thoughts on how we could leverage on the new Ministry of Youth Development to champion this cause. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With regards to the ministry, the new Ministry of Youth Development, I think that we have to be very careful not to make the mistakes similar to what happened with the gender ministry, where anything relating to women was now being pushed to one ministry as opposed to being put in every ministry. I believe that what the ministry can do is to insist that every ministry, department, and agency has a youth desk, so that every policy that emanates from the executive must have the lenses of gender and youth and environment if possible, because these are the issues that are very real, but are somehow not translating from the rhetoric into the practicality of our daily lives. And I believe that if we can push to have the youth desk in every agency, every ministry, every department, it removes that danger of youth issues being put into one specific ministry and therefore not having that multi-sectoral approach. The other thing as well is we need to destigmatize skills development and TVET. In most countries, Germany, the Scandinavian countries, the biggest emphasis on youth training is technical training, not university. Technical. And that is because to have any country develop, whether it's the industrialization drive you're looking at, whether it's making sure that you have high quality artisans who can do a job properly, you need to place emphasis on technical skill development. And unfortunately, there's a stigma attached to that particular type of education in this country that needs to be changed. Because in moving away from that TVET as such a key part of our national development and moving into the more or less the academic side of things, where you have so many people, so many young people in my constituency, the Accra Technical University, and you have so many people doing what is it called, logistics or things that basically will not make them employable, will not help them to stand on their own feet. Because when you're looking at whether it's a diploma or a degree in whatever it is that we're seeing a lot of young people doing, because at a point that was the main job market, things have changed, and we need to have a change in how, as a country, we look at education and how it positions our young people strategically for the job market. I don't think enough of that is being done. We have all the data. The Ghana Statistical Service has put everything online. We have all the data with regards to the levels of youth education and training, and we should be using that as part of our national development planning agenda, and how we ensure that the youth are not being made redundant by virtue of the courses they're being offered. You speak to a lot of young people and they tell you what they originally wanted to do and what they were given by the university or by whichever institution. And I think that's unfair as well, imposing courses on young people because that is what you have, as opposed to understanding that educational institutions are meant to provide for the broadening horizon of our young people and making them able to stand on their feet and employable. Because we have a lot of young people who have degrees, but you can't employ them because they don't have the skills. So we need to look at what we're doing in our educational institutions as well. And government needs to look at what our census has told us with regards to what we need in terms of the job market, and guide our intake of students into our tertiary institutions. Otherwise, we are putting them through those institutions and setting them up for failure, which is wrong. Because if we are in the leadership positions where we can help to guide, and we're not doing that, then truly we're not doing the youth any favors. Then as well, I think that we need to seriously look at attitudes. And I think Sami made mention of that, which is really, really important in terms of how our young people's work ethic and their attitudes towards voluntarism. And the flip side to that is the challenges faced by young people now are different from before. So what does it even mean to be a volunteer? You can't volunteer without even being sure of how you're going to get to and from the area where you're volunteering. parents are struggling to make ends meet, can't really afford to be always giving money to the young people to go and volunteer. So now it has become very largely transactional, even for those who mean well, because they must get from A to B. You have some young people who want to learn skills in some of these fitting shops. They don't have the means to get to and from these places. So learning the skills becomes a problem because it becomes a burden on the masters of trade. So we really need to perhaps look more closely at that. And I'm happy that the new ministry is calling itself in terms of the developmental aspect of things. And I think from Parliament, and I like that this is a non-partisan platform, because when it comes to issues of Ghana, it's not about which party, it's about how do we come together as Ghanaians to make this future better for our young people. So, I mean, just to support what my colleague Sami was saying, is to just say that when it comes to this kind of thing, we join our forces on the floor of Parliament to make sure that the right thing is done for the future of this country. And I think that if we can look at how we, I suppose, allow education and training to dovetail into what the new job market looks like, we might be doing a lot more for our young people. But we must also be careful as we push our young people towards certain skills, that we don't make them redundant with the speed at which AI is taking over certain job roles. So we really need to be on top of our game with regards to the guidance we give. But certainly, as far as our role is concerned as members of Parliament, I think I can speak on my behalf and perhaps on Sami's behalf as well, that we remain willing and ready to support young people who are ready to learn. But please understand that that readiness and the work ethic is important, because there's nothing worse than making space for people who don't understand the importance of discipline and work ethics and certain values of honesty and integrity when you give them the opportunity. So I suppose in closing, I would like to just point out that wherever you find yourself in a position where you're being mentored, remember that you serve as an ambassador and you're opening the door or closing the door for others who could come after you, and to take every opportunity as a privilege and make good use of it so that it actually provides for others to give opportunities to provide for empowerment, whether it's politically, economically, or in any other way, for more young people to have a part in nation building and the decision-making process. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Zanetor. And let me take in just a line, what nuggets of wisdom do you have for the youth on this commemorative day? In just a line, Honorable Dr. Zanetor.
Oh, right, for myself again.
Yes,
I think it's really, what do you want Ghana to be? And how do you see yourself as part of that? And then based on that, come up with some suggestions on how you feel that we who are currently representing you can do better. I don't think it's for me to say the how necessarily. It's for us to put our heads together and make it better, make it more workable and practical. So I would hope that following this engagement, we can have suggestions brought forward on how we can join forces to make things better and not just have this conversation and have it die out afterwards. So it's really, how do you perceive the future for yourself, for this country, and how can we make it better?
This year, Mr. Speaker, this year, the budget for free senior secondary school education program is 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. By uncapping the GET fund, we will be making available an additional 4.1 billion Ghana cedis, specifically for financing free secondary education program and other related expenditures. Mr. Speaker, aside the uncapping of GET fund, we have also absorbed the debt service made up of interest and principal from the Dache bond that GET fund contracted. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have also allocated an amount of 564.6 million Ghana cedis for the provision of curriculum-based textbooks covering the following. 1, 4 sets of KG books and workbooks for about 2.8 million learners. Mr. Speaker, we have also provided for 4 sets of primary textbooks for about 800,000 learners. So, Speaker, We have also provided for 9 sets of SHS textbooks for about 540,000 learners. Right, Honorable Speaker, under the school feeding program, budgetary provision has been increased from the 1.3 billion Ghana cedis last year to 1.78 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, representing a 33% increase. The allocation for 2025 reflects an increase in feeding costs per meal, per child, from the 1 cedi 50 pesos to 2 cedis, representing 33.3%. Mr. Speaker, the government has also allocated 145.5 million Ghana cedis to the capitation grant, up from 84 million Ghana cedis in 2024. This is an increase of 73.4% over the previous year. Mr. Speaker, we have also allocated 203 million Ghana cedis for the payment of teacher training allowances and another 480 million Ghana cedis to nursing training allowances. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, we have uncapped the National Health Insurance Levy. Mr. Speaker, we have uncapped the National Health Insurance Levy. An amount of about 10 billion Ghana cedis has been programmed for the National Health Insurance Scheme. And this amount is expected to be used for the following: claim payments, essential medicine, vaccine payment, free primary health care, the Ghana Medical Care Trust, Mr. Speaker, and bridging the USAID financing shortfall. Mr. Speaker, in the year 2025, government will continue to implement reforms and increase budgetary allocation to enhance the implementation of 4 targeted social protection programs, namely National Health Insurance, the LEAP program, the school feeding program, and the capitation grant. Right, Honorable Speaker, under the LEAP program, beneficiaries will be increased from the current 350,000 to 400,000 beginning July 2025. The allocation of 728.8 million Ghana cedis for last year has been increased to 953.5 million Ghana cedis in the year 2025. So, Speaker, we have also uncapped the road fund. An amount of 2.81 billion Ghana cedis has been programmed for the Ghana Road Fund to be used solely for road maintenance. This represents an increase of 155% over the 2024 allocation of 1.1 billion Ghana cedis. 1.1 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, we have also allocated an amount of 7.5 billion Ghana cedis to the District Assembly Common Fund. In accordance with our decentralization policy, we propose to Parliament that a minimum of 80% of the funds allocated to the District Assembly Common Fund should be sent directly to the district assemblies to spur economic growth and at the district level to deepen decentralization. Right, Honorable Speaker, I repeat, we have allocated an amount of 7.5 billion Ghana cedis to the district assemblies common fund. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with our decentralization policy and objective, we propose to Parliament that a minimum of 80% of the funds should be sent directly to the district assemblies to spur economic growth at the district level and deepen decentralization. Mr. Speaker, it is worth noting that in a stark contrast to what has happened recently at the District Assembly Common Fund, where only 50% of the released amount are sent to the District Assembly for the purposes of running the assemblies. Mr. Speaker, we have also allocated an amount of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis for Agriculture for Economic Transformational Program, of which Feed Ghana, Ghana Grains Development Project, Vegetable Development Project, and Nkoko Nketenkete are all key components of the program. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have also allocated 51.3 million Ghana cedis as seed fund for the establishment of the Women's Development Bank. Mr. Speaker, we have also allocated 300 million Ghana cedis to the National Apprenticeship Program. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, we have also allocated an amount of 300 million Ghana cedis to the National Apprenticeship Program. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have also allocated an amount of 100 million Ghana cedis to the Edumewura Program. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 100 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to the National Codes Program. Mr. Speaker, another amount of 100 million Ghana cedis has been allocated for the payment of monthly allowance to all Assembly members. Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, sector ministers will be presenting to this House a detailed sectorial performance and outlook, as well as, Mr. Speaker, sector ministers will be presenting to this House a detailed sectorial performance and outlook, as well as sector-specific policy interventions to deal with the challenges of various MDAs. So, Speaker, I want to repeat this. So, Speaker, sector ministers will be presenting to this House a detailed sectorial performance and outlook, as well as specific sector interventions to deal with the challenges of various MDAs. This is indeed a departure from the norm, where ministers of finance present detailed sectorial performance as part of their budget speech. So, Speaker, I believe sector ministers must be made to do so. Right, Honorable Speaker, in conclusion. So, Speaker, in conclusion. Mr. Speaker, the state of the economy, as I have presented, does not reflect an economy that has turned the corner. It reflects an economy in severe distress, burdened with debt repayment harms, mismanagement, and lack of accountability. The budget sets Ghana on a path of fiscal responsibility, debt sustainability, macroeconomic stability, and job creation. It is about resetting the economy and restoring hope. Ghanaians reaffirmed their faith in a better future when they actively participated in the National Economic Dialogue on the 3rd and 4th of March 2025. A key outcome of the dialogue was the confirmation that the fundamental problem with our economy is fiscal indiscipline. The NPP administration awarded contracts outside the expenditure framework. They borrowed over and above Ghana's capacity to repay. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency President John Dramani Maham's administration will be fiscally disciplined and deliver improved public service to our people in a cost-effective manner. Mr. Speaker, we remain steadfast in meeting the IMF program target while restoring Ghana's creditworthiness. We have achieved a lot in a short time, but this is only the beginning. Our commitment to reform we will not waver on that, Mr. Speaker. We have achieved a lot in this short time, and our commitment to reform will not waver. Those who doubt our resolve should not underestimate the determination of the people of Ghana, who will no longer tolerate ineffective governance. Together, we will navigate these turbulent times and emerge stronger. Mr. Speaker, we are making serious progress. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are making progress. We committed to running a lean, efficient government of 60 ministers. Mr. Speaker, we have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to scrapping the e-levy. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to scrapping the burden tax. We have delivered. Right, Honorable Speaker, we committed to eliminate academic fee for first-year public tertiary students. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to providing free tertiary education for all people with disability. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to providing dedicated source of funding for free secondary education. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to distributing sanitary pads to our schoolgirls. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to uncap Get Fund. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to uncap the National Health Insurance. We have delivered. Right, Honorable Speaker, we committed to uncap the road fund to maintain our roads. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to hold a national forum on education. We have delivered. Right, Honorable Speaker, we committed to hold a national dialogue on the economy. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to deliver free primary health care. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to deliver Mahama Care Program to finance the treatment of non-communicable disease. Mr. Speaker, we have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to deliver free textbooks to school children. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to begin the implementation of $10 million Big Push program. Mr. Speaker, we have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to constitute a review process for our constitution. Mr. Speaker, we are delivering. Mr. Speaker, we committed to build the Ghana we want together. We are delivering. Right, Honorable Speaker, we committed to recover all looted state funds under our Operation Recover All Loot program. We are delivering. Mr. Speaker, we committed to reset Ghana. We are delivering. Right, Honorable Speaker, I call on Parliament, the business community, civil society, investors, and all citizens to support the bold reforms outlined in this budget. Together, Mr. Speaker, we have the power to build a resilient economy that will help us tackle the challenges we face as a country. This budget is a foundation upon which we will build a more resilient and equitable society. Mr. Speaker, this budget is not just about numbers. It is about a blueprint for growth, stability, and opportunity. With unity and determination, we can restore faith in our economy, foster innovation, and uplift every Ghanaian. Mr. Speaker, with unity and determination, I repeat, we can restore faith in our economy, foster innovation, and uplift every Ghanaian. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of His Excellency the President, I invite this House to join hands with us as we work to build the Ghana we want together. Mr. Speaker, I thank you so much. Ide bi keke.